Good evening from Dallas, Texas. It's about 20 minutes after 10 Central Standard Time on July 2nd, 2023. And I'm outside my hotel, the Courtyard Marriott. Anyway, it was a fabulously beautiful day here in Dallas. A little hot, but it's not bad. I mean, it's only in the mid-90s. Clear, not super humid. But anyway, 21 years ago today, I moved to my home in Memphis, July 2nd, 2002. 21 years ago, July 2nd, 2002, I stepped out of my air-conditioned moving van after making the 13-hour to 14-hour drive down from Wisconsin. And I said, uh-oh, because it was 97 degrees and humid, and I had a whole moving van of stuff to unload. But luckily, my neighbors helped me out. I bought a couple of six-packs for my neighbors, and they helped me unload. Be that as it may, it's July 2nd, 2023 in Dallas, and in the western sky, we've got a couple of space objects. There's an airplane over there coming into land at Alliance Fort Worth Airport. That's where we're flying out of this week. Anyway, Venus, of course, is the bright object right in the center of the screen, just to the left of the street light there. Mars is also visible, but it's quite a bit fainter. And I'm gonna zoom in and try to pick it up. It'd be just above Venus, slightly to the left. Let's see here, without getting it too pixelated. With all the light pollution around, we may or may not be able to pick it up, but it's... Catch a glimpse of it right in the center of the screen. Overlook the pixelation. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Oops. Low battery sign. Zoom back out for a second and zoom in again. It may or may not be picking it up. But be that as it may, Mars is right to the upper left of Venus. And of course, Venus is the second brightest object in the night sky after the moon. Mars varies. It can be the third brightest object in the night sky, but it's not there now. It's much farther from the Earth than it needs to be in order to be that bright. But I was just telling the lady at the front desk of the hotel that the atmosphere of Venus is 90 times heavier than here on Earth, and it's 95 or 98% carbon dioxide. It's very heavy, so it's super hot at the surface. Stiflingly hot, no oxygen to breathe, and people complain about the heat here. Well, let me tell you something. You want some stifling heat, go to Venus. We would not do well there, although there's talk about building some cities in the clouds, which would be just so awesome. I'd love to see that. I would go. Although they'd have to really make awfully darn sure that those cities in the clouds were going to stay up there before I'd be wanting to spend a whole lot of time there, if any. But with carbon nanotechnology, it may just be possible to do exactly that. So we shall see what happens. Of course, Mars is farther from the sun than Earth. Venus is 2/3 the distance from the sun to the Earth. It's 67 million miles. Earth, of course, 93 million miles from the sun. Mars averages 141 million miles from the sun. And it too has an atmosphere of carbon dioxide, about 1/100th as thick as ours. So we wouldn't breathe very well there either. Of course, there's been talk about terraforming Mars, but there's also talk of terraforming Venus. And the benefit of going to Venus is that in the upper atmosphere of Venus there are temperatures and pressures that are very much Earth-like. So that's where we could build the cities in the clouds. And the atmosphere of Earth, nitrogen and oxygen, is lighter than carbon dioxide, so it would be a lifting gas on Venus. So that's pretty cool as well. The atmosphere of Earth is a lifting gas on Venus, so it would help hold us up in the clouds. So that's, you know, a lot of science fiction writers and scientists alike kind of got discouraged when we found out how hot the surface of Venus was. But once we sent some probes to Venus that measured some temperatures in the upper atmosphere, we found out that there were other possibilities for living there, that we could actually set up those cities. Of course, Mars has been the one that has been focused on the most, simply because it's you know, the surface. We can land on the surface a whole lot easier. The gravity is only a third that of Earth, so it would tend to be a little bit light for us. Our bones might we just don't know the effect that would have on our bone density and other things. The gravity of Venus is 90% that of Earth, so everybody would lose a good 10 to 20 pounds when they went there, but it would be pretty close. And on Mars, again, the atmosphere is very, very thin, the gravity's lighter, and there really is no Earth-like environment, Earth-like temperatures, except briefly during the peak of the afternoon at the equator. The temperatures can get close to a balmy 70 degrees, but minus 150 degrees Fahrenheit at night because the atmosphere is so thin. But on Venus, the temperature extremes would be minimized. We wouldn't even need a pressure suit. We would just need to breathe oxygen. But we could stand outside, theoretically. We could stand outside on these floating cities. We just wouldn't be able to breathe the atmosphere because it's carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid. So that wouldn't do very well in our system. But nevertheless, the two closest planets to Earth in the western sky, this the 2nd of July 2023 in Dallas, Texas. And I thank you for watching.